The famous flood, the lap times too much. Will we see a new all-time lap record that was set by Pecco Bagnaia with Rins, Marquez, Mir, Martin, Bastianini, Polisbargo, Zarco and Nakagami? But it all comes down now to time attack mode. Good man down for too long though, Fabio Quartararo, the 22-year-old from Nice, qualifying.
Really serious, ready to go to work. This is only my impression, but that's not quite putting it together like he can, and I have my money on that now.
Qualifying session for MotoGP in 2022. It promises to be a nail-biter.
You're going to get a good picture of what the race is going to be about, but this is
his second season in MotoGP. All kinds of problems with the front end of that brand new Ducati GP. Blindingly fast, but he will only push the limit when he knows he's got the package to do it underneath him. Yes, I suppose you could say it's the more proven, established of the Ducatis that are out on the 100 horsepower MotoGP bike with these array of electronics is anything but easy.
Vinales doesn't show something here.
It's almost getting to the point where we're going to have to name riders that we don't think can come through, and we actually think they could all be so good with your race pace and FP4, Simon, but then giving yourself make 7 seconds on that first lap alone.
Yep, first time through the infield when all the bikes spread out.
Now have to dig deep to make it work on that Yamaha here this weekend with such a horsepower deficit from 14th place.
We're watching the Honda first time ever under a proper official time attack. It was crazy the amount of crashes from Honda, and looks like they've sorted it.
You wouldn't have wanted to have been paying your partner leads Binder. El Diablo, you can see how hard he's working. He's squeezing every motorcycle to be on board with down the start finish straight. Has he improved? No, not quite. Winter testing, but after Sepang, he didn't seem very happy at all. The KTMs were struck up that wheel spin. KTM always said the KTM was a rocket ship last year. If they can find that rear traction,
I mean, and really, it's kind of like it makes sense.
Times they were getting lost in a bit of a circle, vicious circle, a downward spiral. They were kind of hitting, working a treat, their new strategy of perhaps not tinkering so much with.
You were saying about these machines on screen, I think you put it really well in that they're new direction.
And it's almost like, of course, it's a temptation for the engineers when they see that the laptop
things at it, he'll never really get to trust it.
We should say we're starting to, it feels like, not being critical of people that were at KTM before because they've had a race-winning motorcycle. His boys are leaving no stone unturned. They are going to throw everything at it to try, and he's a bit of a circuit specialist here in Qatar, particularly on the Yamaha. But we think it'd be a bit closer. Binder at turn 1, and it looks like it might be a big one as well. Thankfully, he's quickly on his feet, importantly.
So just to finish about Maverick, I know, I've seen it with my own eyes, he's figured out the fast turn.
3 times last year, something very special, and he's doing it again here today. And likewise, his compact was fast coming through turn 14 as well, Simon. The last of those sweeping fast right kicked up. Surely, Johan Zarco is booking himself a place. Wow, he takes it. He made that mistake, so potentially here, Brad Binder, who's already going to be close. Now then, Binder looks like he's on course for top spot, and look at that gap back straight. Here he comes in, Checkman. Daniel Patak gives him the big come on, and Binder is coming on. I want for this young man.
You know what? Firstly, Binder, awesome effort.
Experience in MotoGP behind him. Nakagami, Alex Marquez, Maverick Vinales, Andrea Davidson.
Be competitive tomorrow.
Yeah, I know we had a very strong FP4.
Lost what was going to be a Q2 lap time. Contrasting fortunes indeed for the champion, Johan Zarco. He'll be frustrated. He's got work to do now from 13th under the night lights of the Losail International Circuit. Don't go anywhere. A thrilling Q2 the GP World Championship in 2022. What a day of drama we've already had. Anything like what we've seen so far already here in Qatar. Alex Rins, Mark Marquez skyline of downtown Doha. Of course, a massive sporting year for this part of T19. Second he was in practice. He looked like he had great race pace in FP. Spectacular, enthralling Q2 session. Let's quickly pop back down to Jack in pit lane.
I don't think that is the case.
What is a realistic goal then?
Wow.
Expectations coming into the new season for Aprilia. Sunday schedule. Moto3 gets us underway. 15. Simon, these are the moments that we are so privileged and pleasure to be here in this Moto1.
See the best guys in the world on the best machinery take the risk.
In 2022, our first qualifying session sees the reigning world champion having to deliver in MotoGP 2022. Will it be Martin, Mir, Marquez through Q1 in MotoGP? Okay, yes, you get dialed in, tuned into the current track conditions, but you for Brad Binder. Quartararo just trying to keep himself, I guess, warmed up and in the zone if he possibly can. 5 of the last 6 pole positions. The GP21 in general, with Zarco bridging that gap.
Perfectly put, and maybe even Aprilia.
Maybe even Joe. So
How close is that?
Woohoo!
Trying to get a toe off Joan Mir, and he did.
It's a 1/10 of a second slower than anything else we've seen so far this weekend. Oh,
Look how close that was. It almost wing touching the back of Joan's bike.
that's what you call a few times in qualifying last year. You've got to be pinpoint accurate as well, because if you exceed track limit, Lucius Spargro sitting in 4th place gets himself on the front row, a 1:53.649.
3 in the heat, went unbelievably fast. He went fastest, got the lap cancel here again tonight.
I certainly wouldn't be surprised as well if we saw Bastianini on the front row. Since his last pole position, he finished last season without a front row in the last 3 races. It was all to steal the show here under the night lights in Qatar. He was always a very, very strong qualifier as well, wasn't he? Jack Miller, can you believe it? Where has this time gone? This is the start of Marc Marquez's 10th season, and you know that he is going to be fighting for this World Championship, no question.
Yep. But Mark, who's on screen a moment ago, that he got so little training over winter. I want to follow you, I want to get the lap time, I don't care. I mean, he pushes it to the limit. He's pushed it past the direction there. Pecco's pushing.
He knows every trick in the book, doesn't he, Marc Marquez? Now decides, OK, well, I can play that game, mate, and slots himself right potentially to a joust for pole position. It looks that way. 3.5 minutes of the session. Here he comes over the line, then Bagnaia takes pole for what? A 1/10 of a second, and then we said, didn't we, pre-Q2, you can never discount this young man. Jack Miller, he's not finished as well. Ducatis are coming to the fore yet again when it comes to time. Mir, Aleix Espargaro, Miller, Pol Espargaro, Bagnaia, Martin. It would have been easy for me to say. He doesn't normally need slipstream. He's getting some slipstream from Pol Espargaro. Martin goes pole. He's about to head on to his flying lap. That's not good enough. That won't cut it. Quartararo then down 3.86. Let's quickly come back as well to the Suzukis. We thought they'd be figuring prominently here at Losail International Circuit in Qatar. Aleix Espargaro's lap time front row. Here comes Mir now. Over the line he comes. It's good enough for 5th. A 1:53. Attack mode. He's clicked into beast mode. It's Bastianini going pole. No, but he takes 2nd place. Well, we saw these jubilant scenes down in Pramac Ducati this time last year when Jorge Martin ripped boss Paolo Camperotti. Down to you, Jack.
Paolo, back-to-back pole positions here in Qatar. Start though, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, mixed fortunes. Thanks, Jack, and thanks to Paolo Camperotti. We thought, that's it. He's not going to get into Q2. Here he is a few hours later on the...
For being able to manage the tyre in the race distance. So, yeah, he's a real threat. Not just...
It's quite a fascinating dimension, is it, to tomorrow night's race? A GP22 on pole with the GP22, of course, who finds himself on the front row. Quartararo wasn't close. He was 6/10 of a second down.
You're riding on the limit, even a little bit over, all the way to around the lap, trying not to crash.
And our world champion Fabio Quartararo down in 11th place. That's not going to be easy for those boys to fight. Fair to say Marc Marquez is going to have a big part to play in who takes the first 25 points tomorrow night.